As we step into the energetic gateway of 2025, a rare alignment is underway, one prophesied across dimensions and now decoded through the voice of mystic Lana Warren. The Pleiadians call it the global convergence, a moment when the soul timelines, planetary grids, and cosmic memory lines converge into one stream. But this isn't a cosmic show for spectators. It's an initiation for those who feel called. You're not here by accident. Your presence is part of Earth's quantum design. In this transmission, we explore the deeper layers of your next initiation and how this convergence is unfolding through you, not just around you. Why 2025 was coded into galactic time maps. Long before clocks, before calendars, before civilizations carved stone to measure time, this year, 2025, was already pulsing in the etheric records of the galaxy. This is not about astrology or fortune-telling. It's about frequency alignments woven through the fabric of multidimensional existence. The Pleiadians have always said that time is a spiraling code, not a straight line. 2025 carries a rare convergence of quantum wave patterns that synchronize with the original blueprint of Earth. These alignments only occur when enough collective consciousness has reached a resonance point where change is not just possible, but required. It's not a scheduled date. It's an activation point. Many ancient civilizations, without any connection, predicted this window. Not through telescopes, but through trance, geometry, and communion with the stars. Their monuments didn't just track solstices, they tracked convergence points. 2025 appears again and again as a year where spiritual energy and geophysical structures rethread. We're already seeing its echoes. Systems are wobbling. Institutions are hollowing. People feel time compressing, choices intensifying. It's not your imagination. It's the early waves of the convergence stirring the quantum field. And when this energy culminates, it won't ask permission. It will shift reality's center point. To those attuned, this year has felt like a quiet drumbeat getting louder, a knowing that something is approaching, not from the outside, but from within. If you've been clearing, rethinking your life, dreaming differently, it's because your soul remembers this timestamp. The countdown didn't begin this year. It began before you incarnated. Your presence in 2025 isn't coincidence. It's a response to a call your higher self made long ago. You are here not just to observe the convergence, but to transmit through it. You are a point of anchoring for a frequency shift written in the stars and now awakening in your bones. Convergence is not a location. People imagine convergence as a global event happening outside, a shift in politics, a sudden sky phenomenon, or a gathering in sacred places. But convergence isn't a spot on the map. It's a vibrational tipping point, an inner resonance that activates when consciousness meets coherence. When enough individuals hold a matching frequency of truth, alignment, integrity, the field itself starts to change. It bends. It begins pulling timelines inward. That's convergence. Not caused by external forces, but created by the inner quality of countless awakened beings. The grid doesn't shift unless you do. This is why you can feel it coming and not see it with your eyes. Why conversations feel more electric, synchronicities more charged, time more fluid. These are not symptoms of chaos. They are signs of the threshold forming. The veil between timelines is softening, not to divide, but to merge. That threshold is crossed not by travel, but by stillness. Not by movement, but by presence. You're being asked to become a convergence point within your own body, a node where ancient remembrance and future potential collapse into now. And it doesn't require permission, only willingness. Some people around you may not feel it yet. That's okay. Frequency thresholds are personal before they become planetary. But each person who anchors this energy helps create a field where others can step into their own resonance when ready. Your presence creates space for convergence to become collective. So don't look for signs in the sky. Look for the calibration happening inside you. The convergence is not out there. It's here, and you are carrying it in your choices, your breath, and the way you hold truth when the world shakes. Earth's subtle bodies are being rewoven now. What most people see as Earth, the soil, water, air, is just one layer of a much larger being. Beneath the crust and above the clouds, Earth holds subtle bodies, energetic structures that interface with human consciousness and stellar transmissions. And in 2025, these layers are being rewoven. According to Indy, Earth's etheric web is no longer supporting timelines of density, separation, or dissonance. Instead, it's recalibrating to mirror the higher harmonics of galactic light codes now flooding in. That means ley lines are humming differently, sacred sites are reactivating, and even your feet feel the change. The reweaving is subtle but powerful. People feel drawn to relocate, change routines, or let go of relationships without clear reasons. That's the subtle body of Earth nudging your own. When she realigns, so must we. The rewiring isn't in the sky. It's under your skin. This is why grounding has become more than just a spiritual trend. Walking barefoot, sitting on soil, being in stillness. These are now biological and spiritual upgrades. Earth is becoming more coherent, and so she requires coherence from those who walk upon her. The convergence isn't just about global awakening, it's about Earth herself upgrading. Her subtle bodies are rising in frequency to welcome a higher dimensional interface with humanity. And those who attune to that field will find that life stops being effort and becomes attunement. We are not here to fix Earth. We are here to remember how to listen to her again. When you stop seeking alignment and start responding to it, the reweaving becomes effortless. You are no longer pushing against the current. You become part of the new circuitry of Earth's light body. Your initiation isn't chosen. In spiritual circles, initiation is often mistaken for something dramatic, a ceremony, a title, or a gift bestowed. But true initiation isn't granted. It's remembered. It's a moment when the soul retrieves a promise it made long before the body was born. You don't get called to initiation because of achievements. You get called because you are ready to remember. And when the convergence arrives, it activates the soul memory stored in your DNA, memory of who you've been, what you vowed, and what you're truly here to do. This remembrance doesn't always feel like joy. Sometimes it comes with grief, as old illusions fall away. Sometimes it feels like a void, as familiar things lose their meaning. But beneath all that, a new light begins to pulse, the memory of your original essence. That pulse grows stronger every time you stop abandoning yourself, every time you honor your truth, every time you show up as who you are, not who you were conditioned to be. This is the heartbeat of real initiation, not taught, not certified, activated by alignment. You'll know you've remembered your initiation when fear no longer guides your choices, when clarity speaks louder than doubt, when your presence feels anchored even in chaos. That's not confidence, it's soul coherence, and it cannot be faked. In the great convergence, not everyone will remember at the same moment, but the field is ripe, the code is live, and if you've heard the whisper of a deeper truth stirring inside you, you're already in the doorway. Lana Warren on the soul geometry of this convergence. In a recent transmission, Indy revealed that the global convergence of 2025 isn't random. It is unfolding according to soul geometry. That means your awakening isn't separate from planetary change. It's mathematically synchronized. Your personal timeline has been spiraling toward this all along. Soul geometry is not shapes, it's patterns of resonance. It's why certain people, places, and paths keep circling back into your life. These are not accidents. They are activations, timed to unlock you as the grid aligns. You are a node in a sacred design that spans star systems. This is why you may feel surges of clarity without context, or meet strangers who instantly feel familiar. The soul geometry of convergence is gathering its pieces, people who agreed to remember together. You are one line in a larger pattern, and when you step into alignment, the whole design lights up. Convergence isn't just planetary, it's deeply personal. The math of your soul is syncing with the Earth's shifting fields, and when your geometry aligns with hers, you stop searching for purpose because you become it. The field flows through you, not to you. What Indy emphasizes is that this isn't a time to seek meaning. It's a time to become the meaning. You're not here to find your role. You're here to live your resonance point, to be the tone that others need to remember their own. As this soul geometry activates, many will be drawn to each other, not by logic, but by energetic familiarity. You're not building a movement, you're remembering a map. And when all the points align, Earth herself becomes the temple, and humanity steps into the next octave of being. Light architects are returning to the field. Not all who walk among us are here to experience life passively. Some souls came encoded with ancient roles, as light architects, responsible for weaving grids, initiating frequency structures, and transmitting planetary recalibrations. These beings are being reactivated now, quietly stepping back into position. The Pleiadians have long shared that certain souls agree to anchor sacred architecture during convergence points. They aren't always visible. Some are artists. Some are healers. Some are simply silent anchors who shift entire energetic landscapes through presence alone. They don't seek titles. They carry templates. These light architects operate beyond words. Their knowing isn't learned. It's remembered in the bones. They work with symmetry, tone, light, and geomagnetic relationships between soul fields and physical places. And as the Earth grid comes online, so too does their innate function. The return of these beings isn't a spectacle. It's a stabilization. You may not know who they are, but you'll feel safer around them, more coherent. Their presence won't lead. It will restructure you. And in that invisible geometry, the blueprint for New Earth begins to assemble. The 5 etheric markers of an initiated soul. Indy shared that those undergoing their next phase of initiation will begin to activate 5 etheric markers, subtle but powerful signs that the soul is crossing thresholds encoded long before birth. These aren't badges. They're frequency signatures, felt in body, mind, and life events. The first is a sense of time bending, dreams, déjà vu, or past life bleed-throughs. The second is emotional distillation, feeling old traumas surface and clear, not through drama, but clarity. The third is sacred withdrawal, a call to retreat from noise and anchor deeply in solitude. The fourth is field sensitivity, heightened perception of others' energies, the planet, and cosmic rhythms. And the fifth is activation through service, not obligation, but a deep need to give one's essence to the collective awakening. These 5 don't arrive in order. They spiral in based on resonance. Not everyone will notice them right away. But once they arrive, they signal that the convergence is no longer outside. It's inside. The initiated soul doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't ask for proof. It simply knows. And that knowing starts becoming its only compass. Reality splits are already happening at the micro level. Reality doesn't fracture all at once. It begins with subtle forks, small decisions, vibrational choices, personal alignments. Right now, in kitchens, classrooms, and quiet moments, people are choosing timelines without realizing it. These microsplits form the basis of the global divergence to come. You've likely felt this. Two people having the same experience but interpreting it completely differently. One with fear, the other with flow. These are not differences in opinion. They're differences in frequency. And these differences are beginning to calcify into separate fields of experience. This isn't about leaving anyone behind. It's about matching momentum. The convergence is calling people into resonance with their truest frequency. When someone refuses to shift inwardly, their reality begins looping. For those who respond, life accelerates, not as chaos, but as clarity. Watch the micro choices, how you respond to friction, how you digest truth, how you navigate uncertainty. These tiny thresholds are more important than ever. They are the levers that shift your soul into the version of Earth you'll be walking on next. The final layer of density is releasing globally. Indy emphasized that 2025 marks the final layer of collective density releasing from the planetary field. This isn't just emotional or mental. It's cellular, ancestral, even planetary. It's the long-held residue of ages of forgetting, finally rising to be transformed. You may feel heavier before you feel lighter. The density doesn't disappear without being acknowledged. Collective grief, confusion, fatigue, they're not regressions. They're the surfacing of the old. The convergence field will not carry unprocessed weight. So the earth and our bodies are purging it all now. As this final density rises, don't be surprised by strange dreams, old patterns resurfacing, or sudden waves of vulnerability. These are not signs of failure. They're symptoms of release. The soul is clearing out the noise to make room for divine infrastructure. This is why gentleness matters now more than ever. What's leaving isn't small. It's ancient. Your job isn't to fight it, analyze it, or fix it. Your job is to witness it leave. And when it does, what remains will feel like space wide enough to breathe the future into form. Your DNA is a star map being reactivated. Within you lies more than biology. Your DNA is a star map, a living, multidimensional record of every realm your soul has touched. It doesn't just carry your ancestry. It carries your galactic identity, encoded in light, waiting for specific moments to awaken. 2025 is one of those moments. As the convergence waves intensify, solar light, photonic particles, and Earth's own rising resonance are activating dormant codes in your DNA. This isn't fantasy. It's frequency. You may feel it as sudden insights, body shifts, or knowing things you never studied. This reactivation isn't dramatic for everyone. It can feel like calm, clarity, or the sudden disappearance of confusion that once defined your identity. The codes don't just add knowledge, they remove distortion. You begin to recognize yourself beyond trauma, beyond roles, beyond time. Your DNA doesn't just remember your past, it orients your future. As the codes come online, they begin to guide you not toward safety, but toward destiny. And the path you're being asked to walk now was inscribed in your light long before you remembered your name. Initiation requires stillness more than action. In a world conditioned to chase, build, and accomplish, it's easy to believe that spiritual growth requires constant doing. But Indy shares that the deeper stages of initiation actually arise not from motion, but from stillness. When the soul reaches a threshold, the universe whispers, not shouts. This convergence isn't asking for performance. It's asking for presence. When you slow down enough to feel your own field, that's when truth arrives. That's when the next path emerges, not as a task list, but as a knowing so quiet it can only be heard in silence. Stillness creates space for integration. During convergence years like 2025, massive upgrades move through the subtle bodies, and if you're always moving, they scatter instead of root. Pausing, breathing, and grounding allow the new codes to settle, crystallize, and restructure you from within. It's a paradox. The more you rest into being, the more gets activated. That's not laziness. It's alignment. The soul doesn't evolve through exhaustion. It evolves through attunement. In stillness, you're not missing anything. You're meeting everything. Your next chapter, your higher timeline, your encoded remembrance. Gridkeepers and Dream Seers are cinching roles. Across the planet, 2 soul roles are coming online in harmony, Gridkeepers and Dream Seers. Gridkeepers are those who hold energy in specific physical locations, stabilizing fields and aligning timelines through quiet, grounded presence. Dream Seers navigate the astral and visionary layers, bringing down insights for collective alignment. These roles may exist in the same person or manifest in collaboration between souls. In 2025's Convergence window, these 2 archetypes are synchronizing like gears, one anchoring the foundation, the other envisioning the future. Their union is vital for the Earth's multidimensional upgrade. Gridkeepers don't need attention. They'd often feel called to sacred sites, natural landscapes, or remote places. Dream Seers, meanwhile, often live between worlds, receiving symbols, messages, and instructions through altered states. Together, they represent the roots and wings of planetary evolution. If you felt pulled to places for no reason or had visions that felt like more than dreams, you may be part of this synchrony. Your soul may be one of the many stepping into these forgotten roles, not to control the shift, but to complete it. Solar consciousness will override false identity programs. Our sun is not just a fiery sphere of gas. It is a conscious intelligence, a cosmic transmitter of truth. In this convergence, the sun is playing a pivotal role. According to Indy, it's sending waves of solar codes designed to dissolve illusions, especially the ones we built around identity. False identity programs, stories of limitation, separation, fear, were encoded into our energy fields through trauma, repetition, and generations of distortion. These patterns are breaking down not by force, but by light. Solar light carries frequency that cannot coexist with deception, even self-deception. You may feel it already. Old self-images crumbling, ego defenses collapsing, the roles you clone to becoming too heavy to hold. That's not failure, it's solar purification. The light doesn't burn to harm. It burns to reveal, and what's being revealed is your essence. Quantum emotion is the language of the convergence. We often think of emotion as reactive, subjective, or unstable. But during this planetary convergence, emotion is being revealed as quantum language, the bridge between the personal and the planetary, the internal and the infinite. Emotion is now transmission. When you feel grief in these times, it may not be yours alone. You may be translating the grief of a land, a lineage, or even a species. When you feel unexpected joy, it may be the resonance of a soul group completing a cycle. These aren't moods, they are messages. Quantum emotion collapses space and time. One act of forgiveness can rewrite centuries of trauma. One embodied truth can ripple through ancestral fields. This is why sensitivity is rising. It's not dysfunction. It's communication. The emotional body is becoming the conduit of convergence. This initiation isn't about you. It's through you. Initiation often begins as a personal journey, an awakening, a clearing, arise into greater purpose. But at the point of convergence, the realization arrives. This was never just about me. The soul doesn't ascend alone. It becomes a conduit through which the collective evolves. You are not the end goal. You are the portal. As you transform, frequencies move through you into places, people, and grids that wouldn't receive them otherwise. Your embodiment becomes a delivery system. Your healing becomes a highway. Your breath becomes a code transmitter. This truth humbles and empowers. It dissolves the need to get somewhere and replaces it with service, clarity, and trust. You're not here to build a pedestal. You're here to open a doorway. And what comes through that doorway is beyond imagination. The old timeline is fracturing from the inside out. The collapse of the old timeline won't come from war or disaster. It's dissolving from within. The structures built on fear, control, and illusion are not being destroyed by force. They're being rendered obsolete by vibration. You can already feel it. What once held meaning now feels hollow. The convergence energy of 2025 acts like a solvent. It doesn't shatter. It disintegrates the density at the atomic level. That's why systems are fraying, truths are surfacing, and illusions are falling apart without a single blow. The old timeline cannot survive in the presence of coherence. This fracturing shows up in unexpected ways. Relationships ending without conflict, careers ending without burnout, beliefs dissolving without struggle. These aren't breakdowns. They're completions. The convergence isn't pulling you into chaos. It's pulling you out of distortion. And that can feel both freeing and unfamiliar. The in-between phase is the true alchemy chamber. Many are finding themselves between worlds, no longer resonating with what was, but not yet anchored in what is coming. Indy calls this the in-between, a space not of waiting, but of alchemical transformation. This is where the true initiation takes place. In this phase, identities dissolve, timelines blur, and the soul feels stripped of familiar markers. This can feel like loss, but it's actually the soul shedding what can't travel into the higher spiral. The void isn't punishment. It's preparation. The silence isn't empty. It's charged with redesign. This liminal space holds immense power. It forces you to live without labels, to breathe without blueprints, and to trust what has not yet revealed itself. The in-between doesn't test your patience. It activates your faith in the unseen. Frequency holders are forming geometric collectives worldwide. All over the world, souls are being magnetized, not by cause or community, but by frequency geometry. Groups of individuals are finding each other through intuition, resonance, and shared vibrational keys. These are not just communities. They are light collectives forming planetary codes. You may find yourself drawn to people across the globe who mirror your truth before you speak it. These aren't friendships based on personality. They are soul alliances designed to anchor energetic infrastructure. When they gather, something ancient lights up. A grid forms through them. These collectives may not be public. Some form in sacred silence. Some gather only once, but the pattern they activate is global. They are nodes in Earth's crystalline body, transmitting codes through laughter, healing, ceremony, or simple presence. Their harmony is not accidental, it's mathematical. The planet's breath and your breath are now one field. Indy explains that the Earth is not just breathing for herself anymore, she's breathing through us. As the convergence deepens, the distinction between individual energy and planetary field becomes more blurred. The planet's breath and your breath are becoming one field. This is why breathwork, stillness, and conscious movement feel more powerful now. Your inhale is not just oxygen, it's instruction. Your exhale is not just release, it's transmission. The more you attune to your breath, the more you synchronize with Earth's evolutionary pulse. This unity changes everything. When you feel anxious, you may be sensing collective tension. When you feel joy, you may be channeling planetary healing. Your emotions are no longer isolated. They are participatory echoes in a conscious ecosystem awakening through each of us.